Hello my dear students. Today we are going to study the next section of Animal Kingdom. In the previous class we were discussing regarding the classification of animals on the basis of different priorities. Today we will talk about the classification of animals on the basis of symmetry. Symmetry is nothing but equal halves. If you cut an animal, okay, if a plane is passing through the animal and it is dividing the animal into two equal halves, that is said to be as symmetry. So on the basis of symmetry, animals are classified into three different types. That is bilateral symmetry, radial symmetry, and asymmetry. Okay. First we'll study what is bilateral symmetry. Bilateral symmetry is a symmetry which is been seen in the vertebrates, most of the vertebrates. Okay, here the animal which is being cut from anterior to posterior. Anterior is the head region, posterior is the lowermost part. If a plane passing from anterior to posterior, dividing the animal into two equal halves, so that symmetry is said to be as bilateral symmetry. For example, if suppose a human being, if you consider a man, right? If you pass a plane from, this is the anterior most part, this is the posterior part. If you pass a plane from anterior to posterior, dividing the animal into two equal parts, which is said to be as bilateral symmetry. Radial symmetry. So this symmetry which is being studied for those organisms in which the plane is passing through the radius and cutting the animal into equal parts. In this, the animals which are flattened body, okay, aboral and arboreal part, so which are having flattened body, and plane passing through the radius and dividing the animal into two equal halves, that is said to be as radial symmetry. There are animals like which are having tetramerous, pentamerous, hexamerous species. So animals are classified on the basis of radial symmetry as tetramerous species, pentamerous as well as hexamerous. Tetramerous, the animals like if you take a hydra, not hydra, a jellyfish, okay, a plane passing through the animal and dividing the animal into passing through the radius and dividing the animal into equal parts, which is said to be as tetramerous or radial, kind of radial symmetry. The best example for pentamerous, that is starfish. For hexamerous, sea cucumber. So on the basis of the symmetry, what kind of animal, how many arms it is having, and the plane is passing through the arm in the form of radius and dividing the animal into equal parts, which is said to be, on that basis we are classifying as tetramerous, pentamerous and even hexamerous. Tetramerous we have jellyfish, the best example I can quote for it, and pentamerous we have a starfish, and hexamerous we have a sea cucumber. For asymmetry, okay, asymmetry, the term itself tells that this A stands for absence absence of symmetry. Okay, there is no symmetry at all. If you pass a plane in any direction and the animal is not going to get hauled, you are not going to get the equal parts if you pass through in any plane, and you won't get symmetry. That is said to be as asymmetry. The best example you can go for asymmetry, that is amoeba, right? In bilateral symmetry, the plane has to pass from anterior to posterior, dividing the animal into two equal halves. In radial symmetry, the plane has to pass through one of its arm through radius and passing through the center and dividing the animal into halves, equal parts. In asymmetry, if you pass a plane in any direction, okay, and you are not going to get any kind of equal parts, that is said to be as asymmetry. So, classification of animals on the basis of symmetry that we have studied. Now, we will study classification of animals on the basis of physiological function. Physiological function. The first physiological function that we are going to study, that is digestion. Okay. Here, animals, what kind of digestion they are showing and what type of digestive tract they are having. On that basis, we are classifying the animal on the basis of the first physiological function, that is digestion. Here, animals, they exhibit two different types of digestion. One is intracellular, another one is extracellular. Intracellular digestion is a kind of a digestion in which the food is digested within the cell. That kind of digestion is called as intracellular digestion. Example like amoeba. Here, animals do possess only one cell. Within that cell, the digestion takes place. That is said to be as intracellular. They will engulf the food by phagocytosis and they will digest the food. Whereas in extracellular, they do have a lumen. Okay, in higher vertebrates or higher animals, or you can make it as vertebrates only. Vertebrates do show extracellular digestion. They pour their secretion, they do require enzymes, they do require some acids in order to digest the food. So, which will take place outside the cell. In the lumen, that kind of digestion is called as extracellular digestion. Okay, animals do have intracellular digestion, animals do possess extracellular digestion. On that mode of digestion, what kind of digestion they are showing? They have been categorized as intracellular as well as extracellular digestion. And on the basis of, animals are classified on the basis of type of digestive tract. Type of digestive tract. What kind of digestive tract they are having? Some animals, they show incomplete digestive tract. Okay, some animals, they show complete digestive tract. Okay, in incomplete digestive tract, most of the lower organisms, they exhibit incomplete digestive tract, because here these animals, they possess only one opening for inlet of food and outlet of food. They do have only one opening which will act like a mouth as well as anus. That kind of digestive tract is called as incomplete type of digestive tract. Like the best example you can go for this incomplete digestive tract, Hydra. Okay, Nidarians, they show incomplete mode of digestive tract. Okay, whereas in complete digestive tract, animals do show two openings for inlet and outlet. They have a proper structures for the inlet of food, and they do have a specific structure for the outlet of food. There one opening which will act like a mouth, another opening which will act like a anus. They have a complete structure. Here in the incomplete form, this will act like a opening where the animal, this is the digestive tract, and this same opening work as a mouth for inlet of food. The same opening which will act like a anus for the outlet of food. Right? This is this form of digestive tract. This kind of digestive tract is called as incomplete digestive tract. Whereas complete digestive tract, they do have a proper channel. Okay, they do have a proper channel which will act like a mouth. They have an opening which will act like a, this will act like a mouth, and this structure, this aperture which will act like a anus. Food enters here, it will get digested here, absorbed, then later undigested food will get flushed out from the another aperture that is said to be as anus. Right? So on the basis of digestion and digestive tract, animals are classified into different forms. Like they do on the basis of digestion, intracellular and extracellular. On the type of digestive tract they are having, they are considered as incomplete digestive tract and complete digestive tract. The next physiological function, on that basis, animals are classified as, that is, respiration. Here, the mechanism of respiration is being defined as it is a physiological process in which the inlet of oxygen and outlet of carbon dioxide enter, the food is being broken down and energy is released in the form of ATP. That mechanism is as respiration. Okay. So animals do respire. Okay, animals do respire. The mode of respiration is said to be categorized into two different types. One is said to be as anaerobic respiration. Another one, aerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration and aerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration, it is a mode in which animals do respire in the absence of oxygen. There will be no oxygen at all, and even animals do survive and they do respire in the absence of oxygen. In aerobic respiration, animals require oxygen. They respire in the presence of oxygen. They do respire in the presence of oxygen. Okay. So they have been categorized into aerobic animals and anaerobic animals. Okay. That is the main criteria on the basis of respiration. And on the what type of respiratory structures they are having? Structures structures for respiration, or you can make it as organs for respiration. Different forms of different types of respiratory organs that we are going to see in different animals. On that basis we are categorized. So here the first type of respiratory structure, that is body surface. All lower organisms they act as they show the body surface, entire body surface, which will act like a permeable membrane for the inlet and outlet of respiratory gases. So lower organisms, they show body surface as respiratory organ. Some animals, they show tracheal system. Some arthropods, they exhibit tracheal system as a respiratory organ. And some organisms, they show spiracles. Okay, these are the apertures which are found on the lateral side of the animal body. So that will help for exchange of respiratory gases. Some organisms, they exhibit bucklers for respiratory gases. So these bucklers, which have been seen in some of the arthropods, okay, with the help of bucklers, they exhibit exchange of respiratory gases. Some organisms, they exhibit gills for respiration. Okay, animals, they show gills. With the help of gills, they exchange the respiratory gases. Some higher organisms, okay, they show lungs for respiration. Okay, there are different types of respiratory organs which are present in various organisms, and they show the exchange of respiratory gases. Exchange of respiratory gases, this is being performed only in the difference in partial pressure with respect to the respiratory gases. If there is a difference in the partial pressure of respiratory gases, then only gases move in and out. So these are the different structures. On that basis, organisms that differentiated in the form of respiration. Next classification, that is on the basis of circulation. Okay, here we do show two different types of circulation. One is said to be as open type, closed type. Okay, open type of circulation and closed type of circulation. Open type of circulation, here the animals which circulate the body fluid circulates within the animal body, but in a lumen, in a body cavity. So that type of circulation is called as open type of circulation. Okay, this type of circulation, these organisms which are exhibiting open type of circulation, they don't have blood vessels. They won't possess. They are devoid of blood vessels. Blood is being circulated within the lumen of the animal body. Whereas in closed type of circulation, the blood flows or blood circulates within the blood vessels with the help of blood vessels. Here there is a devoid of blood vessels. Blood vessels are completely absent. Whereas here they do have blood vessels. They have blood vessels. Blood travels within the vessels. Okay, that's why it is said to be as closed type of circulation. Here it is said to be as open type of circulation. Okay, and apart from that, one more thing that we need to consider in circulation, the type of heart. Okay, animals they are possessing. Some animals they show neurogenic heart. Some animals they show neurogenic heart. Some species they exhibit myogenic heart. Okay, some are showing neurogenic heart and some are exhibiting the myogenic type of heart. Neurogenic heart is a kind of heart in which the nerve cells which are initiating for contraction relaxation of heart. Whereas in myogenic heart, the kind of heart in which the muscle fibers are acting for the contraction as well as relaxation of the heart. The impulse which is being generated by muscle fiber, whereas here the impulse which is being generated by nerve cell. So that is the main difference between neurogenic as well as myogenic heart. And animals they show different heart with respect to the number of chambers they are having. Some animals they do have only 2 chambers. Okay, the best example I can quote for a 2-chamber heart, that is fishes. Fishes they do have 2 chambers. One is said to be as ventricle, another one is said to be as auricle. One ventricle, one auricle, which is seen in the fishes. And some species they do have 3 chamber heart. Example, the best example, amphibians, they show 3-chamber heart. They do have 2 auricles and 1 ventricle. 2 auricles and 1 ventricle. Okay. And some species they have 4 chamber. Example, birds and mammals. Birds and mammals they exhibit 4-chamber heart. Okay, they do have 2 auricles and 2 ventricles, 2 superior chambers and 2 inferior chambers, which is seen in the higher animals like birds as well as mammals. So on the basis of circulation, animals are classified the type of circulation, whether they are possessing open type of circulation, whether they are showing closed type of circulation. In open type of circulation, blood flows in the absence of the blood vessels. There will be no blood vessels at all, and blood is flowing within the lumen. In closed type of circulation, blood flows in the blood vessels. They have a proper channel. They do have a proper pipeline in which the blood rushes. That is said to be as closed type of circulation. And when it comes to the type of heart, what kind of hearts the animals they do have? They have 2 different types of heart: neurogenic heart and myogenic heart. Neurogenic heart, where the impulse is originated, heart contraction, relaxation, origin and contraction of heartbeat, that is being regulated by nerve cells. Nerve cells take responsibility for the origin as well as conduction of heartbeat. Whereas in myogenic heart, the origin and conduction of the heartbeat that is being controlled by muscle fiber, cardiac muscle fiber, obviously. So that there are the 2 different types of hearts. When you compare the chambers, number of chambers the animals they are possessing, some animals they do have 2 chamber heart. That we are going to see in the fishes. Okay, so they have 1 ventricle and 1 auricle. And some species they do possess 3 chamber. Okay, example, amphibians, like they do have 2 auricles, 2 superior chambers, and they have one ventricle. And in some species, higher animals like birds and mammals, they are having 4 chamber. They do have 2 auricles, 2 superior chambers, 2 ventricles, 2 inferior chambers. Okay, so likewise, on the basis of circulation, animals are classified on these categories. We'll move on to the next one. The next category, sorry, on which the animals are classified, that is excretion. Excretion, on the basis of excretion. Excretion, it is a physiological function in which the metabolic waste is eliminated out from the body. Okay, it will flush out all the metabolic waste, okay, which is then released by different types of cells which are present in our body. So it is get flushed out from our body. That process is called as excretion. On the basis of excretion, animals, they possess different type of excretory structures. Some organisms are their lower organisms. They do have the body surface for release of nitrogenous waste materials. Okay, with the help of body surface only, they will throw out the metabolic waste. That will where body surface acts as a excretory organ. For example, you can make it out. Best example you can make it out, that is amoeba. Amoeba being the best example for the body surface excretion. Some species, they have flame cells. Flame cells. Okay, they do have flame cells, or you can make it as solenocytes. They have solenocytes or flame cells for the release of nitrogenous waste materials. Good example that I can give it out for this flame cells and solenocytes, that is platyhelminthes. Platyhelminthes. Okay. And some species, they have rennet cells. Rennet cells. Okay. Examples are green glands. Green glands. The best example I can give for that is Excretory. Excretory, rennet cells or green glands. The best example you can go for that is Excretory. Some organisms, they have nephridia for the release of nitrogenous waste material. Example, earthworm. Earthworm do possess nephridia or the excretory organ. Some animals, they possess Malpighian tubules. They have Malpighian tubules. Example, arthropods. Arthropods, they possess Malpighian tubules. Some organisms, they have prenephric, mesonephric and metanephric kidney. Some organisms, they possess prenephric, mesonephric and metanephric kidneys. Examples for these, like molluscans, Echinodermata. So the best examples for prenephric, mesonephric and metanephric kidneys. Some higher organisms, they possess a prominent kidney, functional kidney, like most of the vertebrates, they possess a prominent kidney. So the basis of the type of excretory structures the animals, they are showing, They have been classified as the body surface excretion, flame cell or sonocyte structures as responsible for the throwing out of nitrogen based material, or rennet cells or green glands, nephridias, Malpighian tubules, and a bunch of pre-nephric, mesonephric or metanephric kidneys, which has been seen in the molluscans and echinodermata. And some animals, most of the higher organisms, they possess vertebrates, kidney, which is seen in the vertebrates. See, animals are classified on the basis of the nervous system. On the basis of the nervous system. What kind of nervous system these animals they are having, on that basis they have been classified as. Some organisms, they have diffuse type nerve cells. Okay, some organisms, they are having a diffused nerve net-like structure, which is been seen in Hydra, Cnidarians. They exhibit diffused nerve net type of nerve net, and where they are having the different nerve cells, they are arranged in the network-like structures, which is been seen in Cnidarians. Some organisms, they have ladder-shaped nerve net. Okay, they do have two vertical nerve cords, and these two vertical nerve cords are interconnected by horizontal nerve cords. So ladder-shaped nervous system. Some animals, they exhibit ladder-shaped nervous system. Some species, examples, which is seen in the platyhelminths. Okay. Some organisms, they show maypole type of nervous system. Here, this has been seen in Excretory. This is seen in the Excretory. Maypole type means they do have a circumpharyngeal nerve ring, okay, and they do have one vertical nerve cord. So this type of nerve system is said to be maypole type of nerve system. Some species, they have ganglionated nerve cord. Okay, they do have ganglionated nerve cord, like which is seen in annelids and arthropods. They have ganglionated nerve cord. Some species, they are having nerve ring-like structure. Nerve ring structure, which has been seen in echinodermata. Which is seen in the echinodermata. Okay, so different types of nervous system. That is diffuse type, ladder shaped, maypole type, ganglionated nerve cord, and nerve ring-like structure. And higher organisms or vertebrates, they do have a proper nervous system. Well-developed nervous system. They have well-developed nervous system, having brain, spinal cord. Okay, so they do have peripheral nervous system, central nervous system, autonomous nervous system, and all special nerves which are coming out from brain as well as spinal cord. So that is seen in the vertebrates. On the basis of nervous system, animals are classified as diffuse type nervous system, nerve type, nerve cells, ladder shape, maypole type, ganglionated nerve cord, nerve ring-like structure, and they have well developed nervous system. Okay. And last one, we discuss regarding the last classification, that is reproduction. Reproduction. Animals, they do reproduce, okay, in order to continue its generation. Animals do reproduce. So animals are categorized or differentiated into two forms. One is said to be as asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction, asexual reproduction. In asexual reproductions, the sexes are absent. There are no gametes at all. Okay, sexes are completely absent. There is no involvement of gametes, fusion of gametes, and in asexual reproduction, there is no variety of species. No variety of species. Species, they appear exactly like a clone of its parents. So that is seen in the asexual type of reproduction. And in asexual reproduction, there are different forms like budding, fragmentation, or fission. You can make it as here binary, multiple fission. Vegetative propagation. Vegetative propagation. Regeneration. So on that basis we are categorizing as budding, fragmentation, fission, vegetative propagation, and regeneration. In sexual reproductions, gametes are involved, sexes are involved. Here two gametes are involved. One is said to be as male gamete, another one is said to be as female gamete. Two gametes which are involved, which plays a vital role in the formation of young ones. And here there is variety. There is variety in offspring. You are going to see different types of offspring which doesn't look like its parents. So variety of offspring that you are going to see. In sexual reproduction, we are again subclassified as hermaphrodite, means sexes are united. And some species are said to be as sexually dimorphic. Okay, means sexes are separated. Okay, hermaphrodite is a condition in which one organism possesses both reproductive structures, male reproductive system as well as female reproductive system. So those organisms are said to be as hermaphrodites. Okay, both sexes are present in the same animals. And some species are said to be as sexually dimorphic, means sexually they are completely separate. Males are having the male reproductive system, females are having the female reproductive system. So they have been completely separated out here. In hermaphrodite, we are again classified as proto-androus and proto-gynous. Proto-androus and proto-gynous. So organisms in which the sexes are united, and again they are classified as proto-androus and proto-gynous. Proto-androus is a condition in which the sperms are matured. Sperms are matured earlier than ova. Eggs are matured later than the sperms. Sperms are the first cells which will get released, matured and released. So those are said to be as proto-androus condition. Proto-gynous condition in which eggs are matured earlier than sperms. Proto-gynous condition in which eggs are matured earlier than the sperms. Proto-androus condition in which sperms are matured than the eggs. So this is the difference that we are going to see. So one example you can put it for these two. Example, earthworm. Earthworm is a beautiful example that you can go for proto-androus condition. Proto-gynous condition, hardmania. So is the best example for proto-gynous condition. So this is on the basis of reproduction. Reproduction is a vital physiological process in which animals are classified as asexual reproduction, sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction in which there are no involvement of gametes. Sexes are not involved in the formation of young ones, and there is no variety in the species. You are not going to get any kind of varieties. Okay, and these offsprings whatever been formed on the process on the asexual reproduction, which appear exactly similar to its parents. And there are different forms of asexual reproduction, like budding is a one kind of sexual reproduction, fragmentation, fission, that is again subclassified as binary fission, multiple fission, vegetative propagation, regeneration. So there are n number of forms that where the organisms they undergo asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction which is being seen in the lower organisms. Okay, whereas in sexual reproductions, gametes are involved. Gametes play a vital role. Which are those gametes then? That is male gamete and female gamete. Male gamete is said to be as sperm, whereas female gamete is said to be as ova or egg. And again, sexual reproduction, there you are going to see variety of offsprings. Whatever the offsprings that you are going to get from sexual reproductions, those offsprings are in different shapes, different forms. So it doesn't look like its parents. And again, sexual reproduction is being classified as hermaphrodites and sexually dimorphic species. Hermaphrodite species are the species in which sexes are united. Both male gamete, female gamete are present. Male and female reproductive organs are present in the same animal. Means one animal which possesses both the reproductive organs. Whereas in sexually dimorphic, sexually they are completely separate. Animals, they do possess their respective reproductive structure. Like males are having male reproductive, females are having female reproductive structure. And hermaphrodites are again sub-classified as proto-androus condition, proto-gynous condition. Proto-androus condition is a condition in which you are going to see in the hermaphrodites. So those organisms, they produce sperms earlier than the ovum, and the sperms they will get matured earlier and released earlier than the egg. So they are said to be as proto-androus condition. The best example you can quote for proto-androus condition, that is earthworm. Proto-gynous condition in which the eggs are matured earlier. Eggs are matured earlier, released earlier than the sperms. Okay, sperms are released later than the eggs. So best example you can go for the protogynous condition, that is herd mania. So on this note, we are going to conclude the classification of animals, how exactly animals are classified. In the previous class we have studied that how animals are classified on the basis of symmetry, animals are classified on the basis of the number of germ layers, animals are classified on the basis of coelom, animals are classified on the mode of organization, okay, and animals are classified on the basis of body plan, okay. And today we have studied the classification of animals on the basis of physiological function, like type of digestion and digestive tract, and we have studied the classification of animals on the basis of respiration and type of respiratory structures what animals are possessing, and we also studied regarding the classification of animals on the basis of type of circulation and what type of hearts the animals they are having, and we have studied regarding the classification of animals on the basis of excretion and type of excretory organs they are having or excretory systems they are having, and we have also studied regarding the classification of animals on the basis of nervous system, what kind of nervous systems they are having and how they are functioning and all, and last we have studied what type of reproduction, okay. So now we will conclude this class, and the next class will continue with the first phylum, or else we'll broadly classify the number of phylums which comes under kingdom Animalia. In the other class we'll study regarding the first phylum, okay. Thank you.